Well, I don't think we'll be overcrowded tonight, so welcome the few of you who've come. Perhaps we can go for quality rather than quantity. The purpose is to try to get some recruits for the new neighbourhood plan. I think I've put community plan on there, so it should be neighbourhood plan, which is a new incentive under the Localism Act. And it's important from the... Are you recording this, Keith?
Yeah.
Why? It's not a council meeting, it's a public meeting.
And any meeting with the public's allowed to be recorded.
Why are you recording it?
Hey?
Why are you
Because I
recording
want
it?
to.
What are you going to do with the recording?
There's stuff to do with you.
It is, it's our meeting, so what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, but anybody, if the public's invited to
Is everybody
me...
happy for Mr. Sharman to record this? You don't care? Fine. Okay. No, okay, that's fine, as long as you know, and everybody else is aware. As I was saying, it's quite an important responsibility for the council because, for the community, because if we don't have a proper neighbourhood plan, then we're liable to be at the mercy of developers who will not have any sort of direction. And the purpose of the neighbourhood plan is for us to try to inform, or to come to some conclusion as to where we would like to see development taking place in the village. It's not the same as the thing that a lot of you put a lot of work into, which was the parish plan. That came out in July 2004, and I think there was a review in 2010 when, if I remember rightly, there was a public display here, and that came up with quite a lot of suggestions. One or two which seem to have been developed. I don't know whether it's a result of the parish plan or whether they're initiatives that have come from residents. I've noticed, for instance, increased facilities on the hill for children. That's one which is certainly underway. One I hadn't come across as an interested party was included in the parish plan that the local council supports the community bus and helps promote new drivers, because we need new drivers, and the bus is in fact in danger of collapsing for lack of new drivers. Concessions for local people on the ferry, that has been implemented, I think. So there are one or two. One which certainly didn't take place was compulsory purchase of land off Policeman's Lane, known as Bones Meadow, for the use of residential viewing area and beach seating, bench seating and footpaths. That was fairly ambitious, I would think, from my limited knowledge of the parish council's finances. So what we really need to do is to try to get to start off public consultation, because I'm sure most of you will have, you might not have shared my experience, but I've been a planning lawyer for about 44 years on and off, and everywhere I've worked I've never found any residents who've got a particularly good word to say for any of the planners. They were either corrupt, inconsistent, or at the very best, just unpopular. In fact, my last 9 years of working as Secretary and Solicitor of the Peak District National Park Authority, and if we ever had a local planning inquiry in Flash, the village hall in Flash, which you may know is the highest village in England, therefore a bit chilly, which is absolutely true, the locals would turn the heating off on our side of the hall just to make us uncomfortable. So, but what is happening now is the government have come up with this Localism Act, and instead of the planners who sort of fall into two parts, as the sort of coal-face planners, that's the guys who come round and you see and make the decisions, recommendations. And behind them are what's generally known as the policy wonks, people who produce this sort of stuff, reams and reams of it. And of course it all is approved by members of the Planning Committee and Policy Committee. But to be fair to members, and I've sat through some of these, trying to absorb all this stuff and approve it is extremely difficult. So we are stuck with what's called a plan-led, policy-led planning movement. But government has now said, and I'll read this from the localism, instead of local people being told what to do, the government thinks that local communities should have the genuine opportunities to influence the future of the places where they live. And the Act introduces a new right for communities to draw up a neighbourhood plan. The purpose of that is to allow communities, residents, employees of business to come together through a local parish council or neighbourhood forum and say where they think new houses, business and shops should go and what they should look like. So it is a good opportunity for us. The turnout today is obviously a bit disappointing, so I hope that those who are present, or at least some of them, will be prepared to help out. And then we need, I think, next step is probably to get to energise some of the local businesses and things like that and get them to support us. Thank you, Chair. Now, I don't know what the full history of the interest in the parish has been in planning. There were a number of worthies who took part in the parish plan. Not one of whom is here tonight. It's Claire Hadley, Anthea Hillman, Jeff Hurley, John Smith, Mike Goodwin, Keith Jarman, Ruth Rizell, Beth Rigg, Gavin Shackley, Peter Skelland, Jeff Finch, Peter Manley, Roger Morgan. Some of them are still around, but I don't know why they're not taking interest at the moment. It may be because they felt to put a lot into that and not an awful lot happened with it. I don't know. I don't know whether it was referred to much in parish council as guidance. No, so that's perhaps the reason for it.
Well, it moved away, which is not here.
Yeah. So we really want people who are prepared to sort of get involved and help us out with this. We've got 2 years to do it. There will be some funding available in due course via our county councillor. And really, what we'd like tonight is to get some volunteers to say yes, they're prepared to do it. It will be, depending on what detail we're going to, it will be sort of time consuming. I can't say how much at the present time. But it is, I think anyway, an essential item for the parish, for the residents as a whole to develop. Whether we get a chance to look into policies on second homes, that sort of thing, I don't know yet. There is some work being done at county level. They're trying to introduce a new use class order for a second home, which means anybody who wants to convert an existing residential home into a second home will have to get planning permission for it. How far that's gone, I don't know. I think the county are working with one of the other national parks. I think it's the Lake District.
Wasn't there a bit in the paper the other day that was a dead duck?
Was it a dead duck? It died completely?
Well, I don't know that it died completely, but I'm sure I read an article in the paper that...
Which paper was it, David?
I can't remember now.
No.
But the comment was that, it was something that wasn't going to happen.
I think Edwina's comment last time was, I don't think it was very encouraging. I mean, whether there's general support for it amongst the residents, I don't know. But I know it's a matter that causes concern. And certainly some of our colleagues have bees in their bonnets about it, don't they? So, that's really what we wanted to try to do tonight. At least this could be the nucleus of a working party. Anybody got any comments, questions, suggestions, anything useful to add?
Or any, you said it was a bit disappointing about the, the turnout. I was a little bit disappointed that perhaps one or two more parish councillors weren't here as well.
I agree with you, David, so am I. Bernie, I was hoping would come, but he's got family down. John, who was going to help out, has gone off on grandfather duties. Now he's got his son in the village. So they have got prior commitments.
I think one of the problems was community plan. Nobody knew what that meant. And so...
There was quite a good explanation in the chairman's note in the last parish magazine.
Yeah, but as you said, it's a neighbourhood plan, not a community plan. So community plan is like a parish plan. Neighbourhood plan is completely different.
Yes, it was the right wording.
Right word in the minutes and the meeting, but not in the notice. And as I say, a community plan is just like a parish plan.
What difference it makes?
Hey?
What difference does it make? A community or neighbourhood? Isn't that one and the same?
No.
It should be a community involved thing. It's a neighbourhood thing.
No.
We didn't get into niceties about that. It was the wrong wording, but it said what it was
they
about.
They are completely different.
It said what it was about, which is the future planning of the village. So that was sort of fairly specific. Anyway, Keith, you've made your point, and thank you very much, and I hope you got it accurately recorded. So, did anybody here want to volunteer to help out with this?
What's involved?
Until we've done it, I don't really know, Fran. It's what I'd like to do, get a few people involved, what we need to do, and then I think sort of write to various organisations. Town Trust could be one, see if we can get some volunteer from you, church maybe, the various organisations we've got. People who would be prepared to take an interest in the future of the village.
Yeah, we know that the Harbour Commission is interested.
Thank you very much, Pat. Do you want to mention briefly what that's about?
Yes, it's actually to do with plans they are working on at the moment with possible development or future development at Brazen Island. That would affect us all, both sides of the harbour. I've met and we have walked along Brazen Island with Will Krupa and Paul Thomas. What they have in mind is quite exciting, and I think if more people, certainly in the parish, knew, they would probably be prepared to support something which is actually going to bring business into the village.
So what are they preparing to do?
Well, you know how badly it was damaged, or maybe you don't, how badly it was damaged on February the 14th. It's actually looking at the state of some of those buildings, because they might look all right from the waterfront, they're not. There are various small businesses who are actually quite interested in setting up in some of those.
But it's going to be difficult for people to get there unless you've got a boat.
Yeah,
I mean, you can walk down, but it's a long hole, isn't it?
They have a plan for that, and it wouldn't necessarily be land access.
Right.
I think it's a shame that they had connection to a road and they got rid of it.
But that was then, this is now, and I think they're not going to get that again, are they?
Well, no, they're not going to get it again, but they had it for 30 years and then got rid of it. I know it's hindsight, but it's shutting the stable door after the horse is bolted.
They are actually looking to access European money. Now, to do that, they've got to have fairly concrete plans in place, probably by the new year.
My dearest sir, if you go back in history, the Yanks would have put a road in there for nothing in 1944, and they were refused permission.
Where did the road go then?
No, the Yanks wanted...
No, I meant when you said there was a road through... Where?
No. The Harbour Commissioners bought the end plot in Meadow Close, which connected their land to a road.
Oh, I see.
And they sat on it for 30 years, and then they sold it. And it's now got a house built on it.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, thank you.
I suggest that perhaps a specific article on this goes in the parish news, the deadline of which is the 14th of September, and that all the organisations in the village have a letter regarding this, so it comes up at one of their meetings. Because there are, when you start, listing them down, there are quite a lot of people. From the Vargo to even the Water Committee, because I think perhaps coming right on the end of the summer holidays was possibly, I know that was the timing that happened, but perhaps not good timing for everybody.
This is what I think in technical now. It's supposed to be a sort of scoping exercise, but no, I think that's not a bad idea actually, is it? We see who would be in something. Where do I get a definitive list of?
Well, I can give you a list of the organisations in the village if that's what you'd like.
It would be really helpful.
could you?
Thanks.
I've got a list left over from the
So the deadline for the parish mag is the
Ready
4th.
for Saturday.
Deadline is the 14th of September, so I'll get that done before I go away.
And perhaps another meeting. I know that's a bit tedious.
No, it's,
I think
this is
with
just
I
an
think that's
experiment.
a very good idea. An article explaining, this is your chance to.
That's exactly what it did say in the chairman's message.
It was within the parish council report, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes, it was.
And it did ask anybody's interested to contact me.
Yes, but then some people look at the parish council report and perhaps decide that they're not interested in it.
Right, but if how do I make it more interesting if I don't put it?
Well,
it's going to be under the parish council heading.
Your community needs you. How some bold headlines. Do you want to plan the future of your village? Some catchy words and then some headline grabbing words, and then an article which explains it.
Yeah, because if we don't do it, somebody else will do it for us. I think, put it plainly.
I think the main thing that you need to inform people exactly what a neighbourhood plan is.
Uh-huh.
And
So
I don't because neighbourhood plan is for planning. So if you don't want any planning in the parish, you don't have a neighbourhood plan. It's only for what planning you want done in the parish.
When the I think it's the 2009 meeting happened in here, I know I was at school then, of course, and there was the children, the junior road safety officers did a small presentation. So whether I know it's a fair amount of work to get a sort of exhibition together, but if either of those organisations represented themselves here so that people knew what they did,
Right.
what the town trust do, what age concern do. Do you see what I mean? If they all come in and make small displays, if you like, and then everybody can see what everybody's doing.
Right. And we can actually get a representative from Cornwall Council who will be. I didn't want to bring them at this meeting because I really just want to see who'd be interested. But they'll
What about the chief planning officer?
You won't get chief planning officers anywhere near anything.
That would be a good idea because that would give.
It's something visual.
Yes, and it would tie in with the letter that was in the parish news about getting more people, newcomers involved in things. They knew
I
specifically.
think people respond to visual. Visual stuff.
Right.
And also people sometimes respond anonymously, whereas they might not sit here and say that I'm really concerned about the salt bins or the lack of them and what's going to happen if the roads get icy and
Yeah, you might get more ideas.
Okay.
So I'll run you through those contacts and then go from there.
Right, well, that's really helpful and positive, thank you for that. And then we'll need to fix a new date. What are sort of dates to avoid? Busy times, festivals, half terms?
I think you're looking at, well, we're looking at October now because the parish news have come up to the end.
So we're looking at least mid-October.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to come out first of the month, but sometimes it doesn't. So you've got to allow at least a week to 10 days for somebody to read it. So if you're going to put a date in the article, I would have thought you're looking at the latter quarter of October.
When's half term? Is that the last week of October?
Roughly.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
Wednesday night is the fire brigade's practice night, Thursday night is Coast Guard's practice night.
So don't have it on Wednesday night.
Not a Wednesday.
What night's WI?
Thursday.
Wednesday or
But only once a month.
There's a cover the rehearsal, so it might be Tuesday and Thursday. So it goes on. You've just got to choose a date.
Choose a date, really.
You probably
Well,
look
our
at
night is the second Thursday, and I don't know what that will be, but
you're probably looking at the week beginning the 30th or the week beginning The 20th of
I'll
October.
say the 20th, because we don't get
Yeah.
back to about the
Okay.
4th or 5th.
Mm. Yeah.
Should we pick one now?
Right, what was the
You
worst
haven't got
night?
your
Not
diary.
Thursday.
Yeah, Joe.
Hmm?
You haven't got the diary here, so you wouldn't be able to...
No, I haven't. Normally, probably Friday's not a good night. Sometimes we have things on Friday and it's not out. What date are we talking about?
It's sometime during the week of the 20th of October.
Yeah, so it won't be a WI night because ours is the second Thursday. So
What's the Monday?
That's the yes.
The week commencing the 20th of October.
Mm.
Okay, well I'll check with you for a date tomorrow then.
okay, yeah.
With that, I can pop down, don't I? I need to come down with the keys, don't I? Oh no, I'll do it on the way down.
Oh,
Strike
I was
one.
going to take the keys down for you, but
Oh,
you can come down with me and see what I can't on the top of my head
No, of course you don't.
think what there's anything.
Right. Okay, well we'll proceed on that basis. I don't think there's anything else we can do useful tonight. Anybody's got any further suggestions? Any come for you, Keith? No?
If
David?
there's anything we can do, get more drivers. Anything to do with the bus, we need to push them.
Have you got a notice in the parish?
Yeah.
magazine?
About
Drivers. Yeah.
Yeah, they're always putting, it's always it's at the end of the
Okay.
advert, I think.
Yeah.
Hours required.
Yeah.
We're down to about 5 now.
Right.
Yeah, well, Charlie's have put a notice in for the next meeting just saying how desperate we are.
Might be an idea to put flyers in the doors as well about the meeting. It's got several new people in the village who know,
Oh, right.
and I know that some of them are looking for things to do.
Is that done through Des?
Could be.
Yeah, I've done that before, yeah.
Yeah.
Done that for them.
Or you give each of the parish councillors an area to deliver.
Yeah, we could do that. Or we
Yes.
could put something in the parish magazine again.
I think if it's a separate piece of paper that
Separate,
goes in the door
So
separately.
perhaps they could be put with the delivery of the paper.
What the parish news.
It
It makes it, having been in my parish news distributor, it makes it quite hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So we did that, didn't
And
we?
it is actually getting bigger, isn't it?
Mm.
Des does
Oh,
one for
happy to
some-
walk round and take leaflets around and put them indoors.
Are you really?
Oh, good.
Thank
Thank
you.
Well, I'll see
Well,
if
a suggestion then, if you're going to do leaflets, it might be why don't you do a combined or a double leaflet? One part is about the neighbourhood plan proposal, and the other is the requirement for the bus drivers. Because the meeting that we're on about is
it's not to do
It's,
with
it's
us.
purely
No,
to
it's
do
not to
with
do with it.
it's to do with planning. It's nothing to do
No,
with the getting drivers is very important, but it's nothing to do with the neighbourhood plan organisation.
No, and I think that would be confusing. It
Mm.
would be, have the organisation here, and this is what we do along with all the other organisations. They could.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if
No.
there's a need for it, you can always have one bit of paper in two bits, one giving you a notice about the meeting, the other asking for bus drivers. They're separate. They're both important things, but they're
Yeah, no, I agree with David. Keep it separate. Because Des does one at least one delivery for fire service.
RNLI and the fire
Mm.
service. he did.
I'll have a word with him.
he's obviously basically going to do mainly where he's delivering milk, but.
And we'll rustle up some
Yeah, we can do that.
assistance from the parish. Right, any other suggestions? Oh, thank you very much. Sorry?
Not at this stage.
Thank you very much, David. Well, thank you for attending. That was a nice short meeting, and we can sort of go forward from there with some useful progress. Thank you very much.